the youth side as well.
Sure, absolutely.
So my first question is, how will Motherwell FC benefit as a whole from the money they receive from Celtic playing the Champions League? And is there any specific areas they're looking to improve?
Well, it's an income stream that's been there for the last, number of years. That whether it's Celtic, whether it's Aberdeen doing well in Europe, whether it's Rangers. So every little penny helps at a small football club. We don't survive with one sole benefactor who just continually puts money in. This is one of the income streams that certainly helps our youth teams, helps the youth academy. We could survive without it. However, it's a great bonus to have coming in. So as long as we're in the Scottish Premiership, as long as we're in the top flight, we will receive the best possible return from it. So it's a challenge for us, first of all, to remain in the top flight, to make sure we're a top end club who can get that kind of money. Celtic go and do it for themselves. They don't ultimately think about Motherwell or Aberdeen or Hibs when they're going to play in Europe. So it's nice that UEFA recognise the opposition they're playing against every week, that the league they're in are getting benefits out of it as well. So it certainly helps our youth structure, it helps our academy director Scott Leach, it helps with regards whether it's training facilities, whether it's paying referees for match days. All these things are come at a cost. People think there's someone at a football club who just continually hands money over and just prints money. It doesn't work that way. We have to work very hard for what we get. So it's a good income stream. It's not a vital one. It's not the fact that our club couldn't survive without it. But when it does come in, it's certainly helpful.
And will this money benefit younger players that are trying to break into the first team and kind of follow in the footsteps in the likes of Alan Campbell?
Well, we hope so, because we hope it'll give them the best facilities, to train on. We hope it'll give them the best coaches to work with, the best equipment. Naturally, it boils down to individual ability, whether these players want to go and push themselves. But if we can provide the best platform, and that's what you have to do at a football club. We can't always give them the best. We can't always give them what they would really like, but we do our best and we push the boundaries as much as we can, because we know how important it is for a football club like ours at Motherwell. Our business model is to bring young players through. We keep going on about Alan Campbell and Chris Cadden. They've been at the club since they're 9 years of age. Chris is now 21, Alan's now 19. That's a long time to spend at a football club. That's how you convince other parents. Don't sign for other clubs, go and sign for our club, because we have a model that works. We have a model that gets people in. James McFadden was at our football club for years as a young player, and we sold him on for lots of money. David Clarkson was another one who was at the football club for years, and we sell him on for money. So we have a history of doing that. If the money that comes from UEFA helps us in any way at all progress more of these young players and give them the best possible training platform and facilities, then it will be a huge benefit to us.
Do you think Celtic playing the Champions League is beneficial for Scottish football? Because although the other smaller clubs are receiving a small fee from Celtic playing in Europe, they're also receiving like 25 million, making them more of a financial superpower.
We're probably never going to close the gap in the first team. So we have no real grievance if Celtic want to make loads and loads of money. We're getting the knock-on effect of that, even if it's only a couple of £100,000. We're never going to close the gap anyway. There's such a big gap with player ability, the kind of wages they can play, the kind of quality of player they bring in. So they're almost in a league of their own at the minute anyway. Brendan Rodgers is taking them completely to a new level. So if we get a knock-on effect of that can maybe help us in some small way, with our academy or with our youth setup, then great. If that comes from Celtic doing well in Europe, fantastic, keep it going. We don't rely on it. It's not our every morning we come in we think, how does Celtic get on, do we make more money? That's certainly not the case. But when the money is handed in, it's certainly welcomed, put it that way. It's welcomed with open arms, because any kind of money we can get into this club is vital. We have a loyal support. We don't have a huge support of 10, 12, 15,000. We have probably a core support of 3.5, probably about 5,000. Most home games is in that kind of. So it's difficult to continue to keep coming back to the same people. If this helps us, then great.
Obviously, Motherwell's under-20s team currently sits second in the Scottish Development League.
You've been doing your homework, I like that, good.
Can this extra finance give the squad a boost and help them challenge Celtic for the title?
Well, I'm not too sure it goes into the under-20s as much. I'll have to go and ask the Chief Executive, because if it does, then I would like a little bit of it. Challenging Celtic under-20s, strangely enough, without talking too much about finances, you'll probably have players at Celtic under-20s earning more than some of our first team players. So if you think it's difficult for our first team, it's just as difficult at under-20 level. So that boils down to, we have to coach the players, we have to work with them, we have to give them a structure to play within. it does tend to be at the younger age groups that the money is for youth development. I know once they become full time, I'm not too sure they're out of youth development. When they come full time, we almost become part of the first team budget, so that becomes a little bit more difficult for us to use the money. I don't see it. We don't go and ask, is the UEFA money in yet, so I can spend it on a player. That's not how it's done. It's done in the background. It's probably nothing to do with me, but closing the gap on Celtic under 20s is difficult. It's probably just as difficult as it is closing the gap in the first team, but we'll not give up, for the lack of trying. We prepare ourselves as best we can. Do they have the best players in the country? They do. They've got some terrific talent. They really do. We play them, and it's almost like a first team game. That they're so dominant. They're good in possession. They have the best players from around the country, and they have their pick, which is understandable. If you go to England, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Man City, they probably have the best players. That's 5 clubs out of 20. Well, up here we probably have 2, which is Rangers and Celtic. We probably take the majority, or should take the majority, with their finances. Doesn't always work that way, so we have to work hard at youth level as well.
And the club has made a great start to the season, so what do you think the team's aims can be going forward, and do you think it'll be possible for them to qualify in Europe for the near future?
Well, when you make so many changes to a new team, I think the manager is roughly around about 17 out and 17 in. You're bringing together characters who kind of briefly. You don't know how they're all going to integrate. You don't know how players will get on, whether players will be happy playing, or happy not playing. There's so many things you have to consider, but because the club was in such a bad way last year, he had to take a gamble effectively. So to be where we are now probably is not where we expected to be. We expected improvement, we expected progress, we didn't expect it as quick. So it's huge credit to the manager, players, the coaching staff within the first team environment. I'm not including myself in that because I work within the 20s, just in case people think I'm patting myself in the back. I'm not. So it's been a lot of hard work. Can we qualify for Europe? Because you're winning games at the minute and the form's good, everybody thinks yes. But the club's aim has always been first and foremost to survive in the top flight. That's always been the aim. That won't change until we know it's mathematically possible to not to get relegated. Then we'll be happy. But as the season progresses, probably 9-10 games is where the league table starts to take a little bit of shape. We find ourselves third. If we can maintain this form up to Christmas and beyond, the aims may change from the manager. But first and foremost was survival. Cup final probably wasn't expected, so that brings extra finance into the club, which means they can reinvest somewhere else. January may be an important month for them. I'd be hopeful that come the split, in probably April time, that we can be pushing for top 6. If we're in that kind of position, then everybody will be pleased.
Right, thank you.
Super.
Cheers.